post coming out today, February the 1st, 2025. As you can see, the U.S. military conducts airstrikes against Islamic State operatives in Somalia today. Now, this was announced today, February the 1st, 2025. You can see this post coming out from Donald Trump. This morning, I ordered precision military airstrikes on senior ISIS attack planner and other terrorists that he recruited and led in Somalia. Now, I'm going to share with you the latest information and details coming out on this today as the U.S. has struck Somalian operatives that are from ISIS. And take a look at this. Again, we are seeing in the last 24 hours, the boss of the planet's biggest bank, Jamie Dimon, warns World War III. It has already begun, and it poses more of a risk to humanity than climate change, which we've heard many Democrats say is the number one existential threat. But he is saying, no, it is World War III. And if you agree and you believe that World War III has already begun, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Drop a 3 if you think World War III is already here. Now, if you think we're going to be able to stave it off, put a 4. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Jamie Dimon, as we're hearing that Donald Trump's coming into office, shaking things up? But many are saying that World War III, it has already started. And take a look at these headlines also coming out in roughly the last 24 hours. You can see China currently is building a nuke-resistant bunker. Now, why would China be doing this? We're hearing that China is preparing for war in the coming years. We've heard the warnings for quite some time. By the year 2027, China will be attacking Taiwan, taking that island. They're saying back, as they are saying Taiwan is not an independent state. Taiwan is saying they do not want to be unified with China. In fact, on New Year's Day, we saw the Chinese president Xi Jinping come out and say that nothing can stop the unification of the Taiwanese and Chinese people. We will once again be one. But Taiwan not vocalizing, not reciprocating what China is vocalizing here, saying that no, we do not want to be unified with you. We do not want this. And China is saying that they're willing to impose it, and they're saying that there is nobody that is going to stop them from a unification. Made the speech sound very much like it was a peaceful speech, when in reality they're saying that they're planning to do this by force. Now, this comes as, take a look at this as well coming out today. Iran's Revolutionary Guard has unveiled a new underground missile city. So we are seeing that our adversaries, they are going underground. China is building nuke-resistant underground bunkers, and so is Iran as well, preparing missile cities for what is to come. As Jamie Dimon, as I shared with you, is saying we're preparing for World War III. So I'm going to dive into the latest articles, the updates, let you know what's unfolding as of today, February the 1st, 2025, as we're hearing that there have been airstrikes that have been conducted today by Donald Trump upon his order against ISIS groups in Somalia. I'm going to let you know the latest and what is going on with our adversaries, as we are hearing that Jamie Dimon is also warning, listen, World War III, it's already here, and it doesn't matter that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He is coming into a situation where World War III has already started. And again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And we've heard a lot of people vocalize this, that this is what unfolded with the previous world wars, World War I and World War II, that there was not some sort of official announcement saying we are in a world war. But what unfolded was we saw all of these events take place, these attacks, all these various things that we read in our history books today. And then when the wars were over, then somebody went back and said, okay, according to all of the stuff that unfolded, this is where it started. So if we see things escalate, say with Russia and Ukraine, they might say there was a world war that unfolded and it started back in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. Or they might say, well, it started on October 7th of 2023 when Hamas invaded Israel, or whatever the case may be. If we see things continue to escalate, they're going to say that it already began, and we actually might be living in the middle of a world war right now. It just has not escalated to the point where we have seen things like nuclear weapons being detonated, attacks on U.S. soil, but we might be going that route. And these are the warnings that we're receiving from Jamie Dimon, who is saying he believes World War III, it has already started. We just don't realize it, and it just has not been officially announced. And again, if you agree with Jamie Dimon, drop a 3 in the comments. If you disagree, put a 4. And let's go ahead and get into the articles, though. And while you're dropping those 3s and 4s, don't forget, if you haven't haven't done so yet, to take a quick second, hit that like button for me. Help spread this out further so more people can get the latest updates. In addition to that, be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? When you hit that subscribe button, I'll keep you up to speed on everything. Make sure you're staying subscribed. A lot of people letting me know that they subscribe to the channel and then all of a sudden they come the next day and they've been unsubscribed and they didn't do it and they don't know why. We think it has something to do with some sort of YouTube settings, so make sure you're staying subscribed, and you can even turn on that notification bell to all. That'll help you stay subscribed as well and be notified as soon as videos come out as I give the breaking news. Similar to what we saw last night. Let me know, did you guys watch that video last night with me? We were on the live stream for about an hour and a half as we saw a breaking news event unfold. There was a plane that fell out of the sky in Philadelphia, hit the ground near a mall, and we heard it hit cars, it hit houses, I think it was like townhouses. We watched it for an hour and a half unfold. I shared with you the video footage, the breaking news as it was coming out. Absolutely devastating. And in addition to that, to see two planes fall out of the sky 2 days in a row, a lot of people very concerned with what in the world is going on right now. Is just 24 hours before that, we had seen in Washington, D.C., that airplane collide with a helicopter, and we saw a massive collision take place. There were no survivors. They all went into the Potomac. We've been hearing they've been recovering the bodies ever since, and a lot of people very concerned with that because that unfolded, and when you saw the footage, I've heard a lot of people say it looked like the helicopter went right at the plane, so it was very concerning. And then yesterday, seeing that crash with Philadelphia as well, two crashes 2 days in a row. A lot of people saying they don't necessarily think that this is a coincidence. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts right now. A lot of speculation, investigations still underway, but as more information comes out on that, I'll be sure to let you know here on the channel. So like I said, subscribe, stay up to date, and as always, these articles are going to be linked in the description below. I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it so that way you can see it for yourself. They're hyperlinked. Click the links, go read them, and you can rest assured and know that it is the latest. Try to hold myself to the highest level of accountability as I report news to people here on the channel. But like I said, if you appreciate that, please take a second, hit that like button, and let's go ahead and get started so that way you guys can get the latest information that is coming out. And let's go ahead and start off with what Donald Trump had to say today and what is being reported on, and that is this right here from Truth Social. Donald Trump, you can see this was February the 1st, 2025 at 11:18 a.m. Actually, let me scoot it out just a little bit so you can see that on the date there. There we go. Now it says, this morning I ordered precision military airstrikes on the senior ISIS attack planner and other terrorists that he recruited and led in Somalia. These killers, who we found hiding in caves, threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they live in and killed many terrorists without in any way harming civilians. Our military has targeted this ISIS attack planner for years, but Biden and his cronies, they wouldn't attack quickly enough to get the job done. I did. The message to ISIS and all others who would attack Americans is that we will find you and we will kill you. That coming out today, just a couple of hours ago, from Donald Trump, as we're hearing that airstrikes have taken place in Somalia against these groups. They're saying they hit the caves, wiped out many of them. Now, in addition to that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these articles as well to get you caught up on some more information. Let's take a look at this one here from the Associated Press that says U.S. military conducts airstrikes against Islamic State operatives in Somalia. This one says the U.S. military has conducted airstrikes against Islamic State operatives in Somalia, the first attacks in the African nation during President Trump's second term. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Saturday that the strikes by U.S. Africa Command were directed by Trump and coordinated with Somalia's government. An initial assessment by the Pentagon indicated that multiple operatives lost their lives. The Pentagon said that it assessed that no civilians were harmed in the strikes. Trump, in a post on Truth social media,
get out of here. You're wasting my time. Please let me back.
Media said a senior IS planner and recruiter, they were targeted in the operations. The strikes destroyed the caves that they lived in, and it ended the lives of many terrorists without in any way harming civilians. Our military has targeted ISIS attack planners for years, but Biden and his cronies, they wouldn't act quick enough to get the job done, and I did. And you can see this is the same post that we saw on Truth Social. Trump did not identify the IS planner or say whether that person lost their life in the strike. White House officials did not immediately respond to a request for comments. So this coming out from the Associated Press. Now here's another one that also has come out from Axios. You can see this came out 3 hours ago, and it says,
President Trump has re-expressed his desire to take Greenland, this time refusing to rule out the possibility of using military or economic coercion to achieve his goals. It's an idea he's been pushing since 2019, when he first suggested purchasing the island from Denmark.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time.
It's in the North Atlantic and is considered to be part of the North American Arctic rather than the European Arctic. So if you're Trump, you might reasonably look at a map and say, why isn't this a territory under either direct American control, in other words, a 51st state, or in some kind of closer relationship?
However, the United States isn't the only country with an eye on the region. In 2018, a Chinese state-owned company bid roughly $550 million to expand 2 airports in Greenland. But efforts from the Pentagon forced it to back out. Meanwhile, Russia has been reopening old Soviet military bases across the Arctic since 2015, including Nagurskoye, located just 600 miles off the northern coast of Greenland. So how did this island with a population of just 56,000 and an ice sheet covering about 80% of the territory gain such geopolitical significance? And why is President Trump so eager to acquire it? Greenland's location is a major factor behind its rising prominence in global geopolitics. To start, the sea around Greenland is part of what's known as the GI-UK Gap, a strategic transit route located between Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. Securing this choke point has been essential in America and NATO's efforts to contain Russia's naval forces and stop a potential threat.
That was a connection or a waterway that would allow the Soviets coming out of their Murmansk bases and naval bases to project naval power into the Atlantic to cut the United States off from its allies in Western Europe during the Cold War. This is still an arena of very active undersea activities. The Russians have been modernizing and continue to put at the forefront of all of their defense dollars, at least in their Navy, in their nuclear submarine and undersea capabilities. Now the potential of adding in the Chinese Navy is not something to be forgotten.
As China and Russia expand their influence in the Arctic, Greenland's location has also become vital to America's ballistic missile warning system.
When we were locked in a Cold War with the Soviet Union, the bases in Greenland, which were radar as well as air bases, Thule being the most notable, allowed us to have early warning of a Soviet missile launch or bomber attack against the United States.
Today, thanks to a 1951 defense treaty with Denmark, the U.S. still operates one military base in northern Greenland, renamed Bidufik Space Base from Thule Air Base.
Now, in the recent past, with China's rise and it tripling the size of its ICBM ballistic missile arsenal, once again, Greenland plays a national defense role because of its geography. And that base is extremely important to the defense of the United States and, quite frankly, of North America, to include Canada.
Greenland's location also poses a unique economic opportunity thanks to its proximity to Arctic shipping routes. Shipping over Arctic routes saw a 37% increase between 2013 and 2023.
As the Arctic ice flow has changed in the recent past and is projected to continue changing, opening up Arctic shipping routes, you have several lucrative potentials there. For Greenland's role in geography, it's the Northwest Passage that would connect the Pacific all the way over into the North Atlantic. Of course, there's an alternative, which the Chinese and the Russians have been using, the Northern Sea Route. And that's basically the same places on either ends, but just goes along Russia's coastline.
In 2018, China also announced its intention to construct a polar Silk Road, linking China and Europe through the Arctic Ocean.
All in all, Greenland is almost, if you like, a kind of ground zero for how the Arctic has become more and more geopolitically and strategically significant.
Greenland is also home to a massive deposit of valuable natural resources.
Particularly in the central and southern parts of the island, there is considerable potential in things like uranium, iron ore, cobalt, zinc, lithium, even precious stones like rubies, for example. And the key area of interest is these critical minerals that are sometimes called rare earths that are used particularly in things like electric cars, wind turbines, the very thing that makes the electrification, if you like, of the economy possible.
Of the 34 minerals considered critical raw materials by the European Commission, 25 are found in Greenland. The country is estimated to have 1.5 million tons of rare earth reserves, compared to 1.8 million tons in the United States.
The other thing that organizations like NATO have drawn attention to, that if you look, for example, in the composition of modern weapon systems, it is absolutely staggering how many minerals are integral to things like tanks, missiles, ships, and the like. And most of those minerals would be considered to be either at high risk or extreme risk in terms of security of supply. And in terms of rare earths, China is absolutely a dominant player.
China has the largest reserve of rare earth elements, accounting for about 60% of the world's production. In recent years, China has banned certain rare earth exports and technology to foreign countries.
The Chinese have invested significant amount of money to control the uranium assets that are there in Greenland. But having that control, even if they can't pull the minerals out, their ability to control the activities at these mines allows them to have a control over our market space.
Mining companies around the world have operations in Greenland, including the New York-based Critical Metals Corp, a publicly traded company, and Cobalt Metals, a privately owned exploration firm backed by big names like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates.
In essence, when Donald Trump talks about Greenland, one of the things he is interested in is how can the United States and other friendly nations ensure that Greenland's mineral potential, if exploited further, is exploited for our benefit. Or he is also preoccupied with stopping China develop a foothold in Greenland and then dominating Greenlandic resources and then creating a further stranglehold on rare earth supplies globally.
I think it's important for us to say that Greenland is not for sale, never has been for sale, never will be for sale.
I think a very unlikely possibility is Greenland becoming a 51st state of the United States, or Greenland joining Alaska and becoming an even larger 50th state. I think that's not likely to come to pass.
In January 2025, Greenland's prime minister said he wanted to strengthen defense and mining ties with the US, but made it clear it would be on Greenland's terms.
There appears to be a growing demand in Greenland of becoming an independent nation state and no longer part of the Danish kingdom.
And if the Green
Kenneth Arnold, who was one of the first people who actually coined the phrase UFOs, or flying saucers, I should say, that he saw 9 craft flying over Rainier, Washington back in 1947. He was flying a plane over Mount Rainier, Washington, and saw these 9 craft and said that they looked like they were saucers skipping on a pond. So that's where we got the term flying saucers. And after he saw those 9 craft, he wrote in his memoir that he was having poltergeist activity and all sorts of bizarre things happening at his home. And even his daughter, who's done multiple interviews, has said that there was all sorts of bizarre things going on in the household after that incident. This is Chad Riley, and you're watching End Times Production.